Happy Saturday. It's currently May 17th. It's May 17th. I haven't recorded in a few days. I've just kind of been go in a few ways and just really chill in others. I just really haven't had much to say, or I haven't gathered my thoughts to really have anything to say on camera. Life's been good. I gotta be honest with you. So I started taking a women's coaching class for my firearms. I finished my initial pistol training class. It was only a 4-week class. Finished that the end of April. And then I was like, what is the next step to continue this education? And they suggested the women's coaching. So I signed up for that. Unfortunately, it's only a 3-week class this go around because Memorial Day. I always get Memorial Day and Labor Day mixed up, but Memorial Day is on one of the Mondays, so they'll be closed. I won't be working. So this coming Monday in 2 days is my last coaching class. I want to cry because honestly, ever since I took my first class in April, my pistol class, I love guns. I never thought I would say that. And now I've been thinking about it more. I think it's just like a challenge that my brain has really been hungry for, and it just kind of lit a fire in me. It's just been sustaining me for, 7 weeks now. And to not have that to look forward to, I really don't know what to do with myself. I'm at the point where I'm feeling more comfortable shooting. I'm kind of like really, I don't want to say hitting my stride, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. And, I'm that way on one end, but I also, I don't feel comfortable enough to, go out and purchase a firearm and just, send me on my way. I don't feel that either. I just learned to shoot rifles last week. Rifles are my shit, by the way. Right? Which, is helpful because I wanted to learn to shoot because I want to do hunting. And so, I've been practicing my rifle grip because rifles are heavier and it's a two-handed grip, so there was a lot of shaking. I still did pretty well. I keep all my targets on my fridge. This is my rifle one. This is from 15 yards. This was a 223 Remington, and then this is my second one. One or both of those was upside down, so it's inverted. But my instructor was pleased with how I was shooting, so that's really all I ask for, or all I look for really, is the instructor good with it? Because me personally, I want to hit the center of the target every single time. One of my favorite movies in the world is Shooter. I don't know why. It's so contrary to the type of person that I suppose I used to be. There's nobody in the world I want to be more than Bob Lee Swagger. I don't know why. It's probably something about, living in the mountains in a cabin alone with your dog, just being kick-ass at shooting. I don't know. It's just the life for me, I guess. So anyways, that's all I've honestly been thinking about, which is not healthy to just think about guns all the time, but it's my new hobby, and I don't really know what to do after this class ends. So I'm a little sad. But on a positive note, I'm actually going to Minnesota this next weekend. So I got some stuff to do for that. I need to clean my house. I need to make sure all my animals are set up. My little brother's going to come watch my animals. So, my cats are going to get all the attention they could possibly ever want within the next weekend. But yeah, I'm going to go out for my cousin's graduation. He just did some turkey hunting. I did tell my family that I've been taking this gun class. It's been a secret up until last week. I was talking to my grandma, and she was talking to me about how my cousin does hunting this and my cousin does hunting that. And I'm just by the way, I'm learning how to shoot guns also. I'm also interested in all this stuff. All right, my phone died, so I got cut off earlier. But I just got back from Menards. I went and got a bunch of lumber. Well, not a bunch. I got 7 2x4x8s and then 1 3/4 2x8 sheathing panel because I'm making my workbench in my basement. I'm so excited. I've wanted to make a workshop in my basement for a long time. I'm very much into like traditionally male stuff. Like I want to shop in the basement. I want to shop in the garage. Actually, I just don't have a garage. But next house, the two things I will not negotiate on are I need storage in my kitchen, not necessarily a big kitchen. I just need a functional kitchen. Just because with preserving and enjoying cooking, like I just need a kitchen that's bigger than, you know, these are my two cabinets. So I need a bigger kitchen, and I need a garage, non-negotiable. I need a garage. I am actually more so, I think, than ever thinking about moving, just because before I thought I had outgrown this place, because I've always been interested in homesteading and, you know, animal husbandry and all kinds of things like that. But I really feel like I've outgrown this house at this point. But, yeah, it's just, I'm just kind of outgrowing the life that I've made here in a way. Not that I'm not grateful for everything that I have already, but I'm kind of at this place now where I'm pretty stable and I'm kind of really finding my footing in life and like what I'm interested in and the things I want to do. And I'm starting to think that maybe I need to have a place that's more conducive for those things and the life that I want, if that makes sense. So anyways, I need to build a workshop in my basement because I have lots of tools. I have no garage to put them in, and I want a place to work. You know, I have a lot of hobbies that I'm either into or want to get into. I really want to get into knives because now that I'm learning, you know, how to shoot a gun to go hunting, I'm gonna need to learn like dressing an animal. You can watch all the YouTube videos in the world about it, but I won't know what I'm doing until I'm doing it. And so I feel like knives are like the next step because I want good knives when I'm dressing an animal. And I'm finding that I really like weapons. I really want to get into archery. I want to get into knives. I have some knife sharpening stuff because last year from an estate sale, I bought a kit that some old man had put together. He was really into leatherworking, so it's actually a bunch of leatherworking tools and a bunch of like knife sharpening stuff because he obviously sharpened his knives for leatherworking. So that's honestly, like, when I think about building this workbench, that's the stuff that I'm thinking about doing with it. I really want to get into leatherworking. I really want to get into knives. I really want to get into, it's just a lot of stuff. And I kind of need a work surface that's conducive for it. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now. That's kind of long-winded for me to, you know, explain all of that, but I'm going to work in my basement today. I have so much other stuff I should be doing, but this is one of those things that's just been really weighing on my mind. I really can't imagine that it's going to take all that long. It's pretty straightforward. It's going to be straight cuts. It's not going to be anything fancy by any means. It's literally just going to be built to serve its purpose is what's happening here. So I'm going to do that today and, you know, waste time doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, but you only get one life, so whatever. There's always tomorrow to do other stuff. So this is my current basement situation. It's a mess, but I think once the workbench is going to go right here. So I have this stone shelf that runs along half of the north wall of my house, of my foundation, I guess. So I'm gonna build the workbench to come. I'm going like 7.5 feet out. I'm gonna have it overlap the stone wall a little bit just for some extra support, and then I'm gonna have it extend out here. I do have my water heater right here, but this has been fine next to it this whole time. So I'm just trying to be mindful of, you know, my appliances. It's gonna be 40 inches tall, which is enough for me to use this bench right here, or this chair rather. And I gotta find room for all of this. I don't know where this shelving unit is going to go. Behind this shiplap here, I actually have another half of my basement that's just dirt. And I don't use it for anything. It's literally just dirt. There's an old coal chute, which you can see right here. I'm going to need to go in there and pull the coal dust back and then kind of patch where this board is deteriorating so I can keep that from pushing in here. I'm not going to do that today. I'm actually not going to touch that as much as possible because I don't have a respirator and I'm not trying to kick up coal dust in my basement. This is pretty much what we're working with here. It's going to come 2 feet out. I'm going to have to notch it because I have this post here, so I'm gonna have to notch it so it fits flush against the wall. Initially I was gonna do 7.5 feet with a bit of an overlap on the stone wall, but so 7.5 puts me, where's it at? Right here, about there. I don't know if you can see that overhang at all, but I think I got 9 or 10 inches over there maybe. But then I checked 8 feet because the piece of wood that I got, the sheeting that I got, is 8 feet. And that would save me from having to do a cut, and that gives me a much more significant overhang, obviously. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Once I moved that dollhouse that I had right here, I actually have this lip that's quite substantial. So what I did was just cut down a spare 2x4 that I had. I think that'll make it pretty even. I might have to I have a bunch of like 1x, and I actually have some 1/2 inch like trim pieces that I could use just to, you know, make this as level as possible. I used my manual, it's actually a miter saw, but I'm only making straight cuts for this project. But I got that at Goodwill for $20 like 2 years ago, and I've never used it. The teeth on the saw definitely need to be sharpened, so something to keep in mind. And also I think all the mechanisms that help the saw glide easier, all of that needs to be greased and probably cleaned, and just, yeah, it needs some work, but for $20 it worked. Lots of arm muscle went into it. I do have a compound miter saw, like an electric one, but honestly it scares me. I don't know why. I used it multiple times just fine, and then I just suddenly got scared of it. I don't know. So I don't like using it if I don't have to, and I've been wanting to use my manual one for a while. I just haven't really had a project to use it for. And it saves me from having to like get out extension cords and whatever. Look at that. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, got the notch done. Went pretty painless. I did have to shave off just a hair. It's an old board post, so, you know, it's not perfectly square. So the fit was beautiful at the end, so really excited about that. I didn't want it to be a huge gap between the post and the workbench space, so yeah, it really just came together like a dream. It's exactly where I wanted it, so good job measuring. That's usually my downfall, is measuring accurately, but I got it. So I got a bunch of 2x4s, and I'm gonna make a frame on the bottom of it, so then I have something to screw the legs into. It's kind of hard to work in here because it's just such tight spaces, and, you know, I'm working with 8-foot lumber that, you know, it's very short in here because I'm in my basement, so kind of hard to work through, but all in all not awful. So I need to figure out how I want to do this. I would like to not have any screw holes on top of my countertop, so I'm looking at screwing it from below. So Gotta make sure I don't split my boards, and I gotta make sure I have screws that are long enough to do that. So it's coming together. I don't know what time it is. I haven't eaten, so I'm getting a little hungry, but I want to get this done more than I want to eat. Look. Okay, a couple things. It's working out well-ish. I gotta finish the legs on this side. I'm actually gonna space them out because I put up this folding table to use as a temporary workbench. And I actually think I'm gonna leave it. It was right here along this wall, and I think I'm actually gonna leave it there. I don't really know where else I would put it. So I'm gonna bump the legs out on this north side here. I'm gonna bump them out a little bit so I can still slide that in and out there. But I mean, it's sturdy as is, so it's going well. It's taken a lot of brain power to get this far, surprisingly. I'm mad at myself. I screwed this board in the wrong way, so it's actually really pretty on the other side, and I was gonna utilize that just for some prettiness, but then I screwed it in wrong. It's a little high on this side, actually. It's just like ever so slightly, I don't know if you could see it. It's ever so slightly not level. This side needs to come up a little bit more, but I already cut the wood. So it's level enough to use. So I'm just gonna go with it, you know? It's working out. It's higher than I anticipated it being, so I do need to get my chair over here and sit and make sure that it's still working. I can imagine that it'll be fine. It's actually a really great standing counter height for me. So, okay, so I've been messing with it a little bit and cleaning up. I folded this table down so I could get around here. And I don't think I'm gonna put any legs on this side. It's just so sturdy. I mean, I really have to rock it to get it to move. And the legs over here, I mean, it's just really sturdy. And it's probably got, what is that? It's got to be a foot at least of overhang on this side. So I think I'm good for right now. I'm not going to do anything crazy with it. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Eventually I will put a set of legs right here, I believe, right in front of this post. And I'm going to have some shelves, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to put there. So I'm going to wait until I have a better idea. And then I would say from this post over, I want to leave it open so I can put my stool here, which I'm going to move my stool over here in a second and see how it works with this height, because this is much higher than I thought it was going to be. I honestly was not thinking about doing the 2x4s here until last minute. And I don't mind it. I am just mad that I put it the wrong way, but you know, it is what it is. All in all, super, super happy with how it came out. I'm glad that it took me longer than I thought. I spent basically an entire day doing this. I think it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now. But, God, I'm glad it's done. I just need to clean up after myself now, which is not going to be exciting, but it's really nice having this. So go me. All right. So unfortunately it's a little high for this chair. It's a little high. I mean, it's not bad. Like if I were typing, I'm not really planning on doing like computer work down here. This is like a tool workbench, not a computer workbench. I don't know. It might be okay. I mean, if anything, I'm just getting a new chair. That's the only difference here. The height is staying the same. I'll just get a different chair. It won't be hard to find a stool secondhand. It's high, but I'm gonna try to work with it. I'm gonna try it. We'll see. And if it's not great for like chair height, it's really great for standing height. So I'll just have to stand. That's fine. Anyways, this has been a project, and now I gotta put my basement back together. And honestly, I'm gonna start putting stuff away on here. Not that I have a ton, but you know, I got some stuff. So it's gonna be weird coming down here and this is here now, because I've been thinking about it for 2 years. So really proud of myself for doing this. And now I gotta do all my little projects. I do need to sand it really bad though, because it's painful. Hey guys, happy Monday evening now. I just had my last coaching class at the range, and I am really sad it's over. I am. I almost cried. I didn't because I'm a big girl. But yeah, it's sad, and it's I just like being there, to be honest with you. It's fun. And I think I've said in a previous clip, I don't know if I've ever included it in anything, but I think it's just something that's challenging for my brain, and it's new, and it's like something that now I have experience with it, but before, when I was signing up, I had no real experience with it. And then to find out that I'm like decently good at it, it makes it that much more fun. And then also just having a great welcoming environment and great coaches and everything like that, that really helps. I do have a target to show you that I'm very proud of. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, but I will say this middle one here, there are 6 shots. There are 6 shots in there with an AR of some caliber. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Great coaches at the Outdoor Education Center. Very welcoming, very nice people that, yeah, I just like those people. So, he asked me if I had any questions, and really I did have a question of like, what do I do next? But as far as what I do next, I mean, I went into the pistol class wanting to learn how to shoot a gun because honestly, I was scared and I turned to guns. That's honestly why I went into the pistol class. But like after I would say after the first shot that I ever shot, it was not that. And it was, I actually just really enjoy doing this. It's an expensive hobby. I'm not looking forward to like really delving into it. But I did ask him, I said, what would you do next if you were in my shoes? I was like, I don't really feel that comfortable buying a gun now because I've been shooting for an hour 7 times, and like even today, like I totally tried shooting with the safety on. Like, there's still things, but I do also recognize that there's only so far I can go with coaching. He can show me all the guns in the world. I can shoot all of them, but until I have one that belongs to me, that I'm familiar with, and like, I'm sighting in, doing all the things that I need to do to it to make it fit for me and how I shoot, that's not really it's something they can help with, but that's not really something they can teach me, like that's something at some point I have to get comfortable doing this by myself. I'm very quickly losing light. I'm very sorry. But yeah, I do have a hand-me-down gun, actually. It was my grandpa's. He passed away in 2021, and I found out my cousins were getting some of his guns, and I called up my grandma and I said, I know I'm a girl, but yeah. So yeah, I asked her, like, can I have one of grandpa's guns? So I think that's the next option. I do have to transport it from Minnesota down to where I live. And I'm sure there's laws and regulations. Obviously, I want to do everything by the book, and I want to do it properly. And I don't know what all of that is. I really just don't believe that I can just load a firearm into my car and drive down. So I need to figure out what I need to do. Also to change ownership, because if I do bring it home to Nebraska, I got to change the ownership, and I gotta do all that. And I also need a place to put it. It is just me living here, so I'm not worried about kids. I don't ever have kids come here. I'm thinking about getting a gun safe. Maybe I'm looking more at a gun case, to be honest with you. Just cause I don't know where I would put a gun safe. Gun cases are a little bit easier, in my opinion, and I would still get one that locks and everything, even though it's just me. I have plenty of animals. I'm not gonna leave a loaded gun in a gun case or gun safe even. So I'm not worried about that aspect, but I have a lot to consider, because it's not just, okay, now you go out and get a gun. There's the financial aspect of doing all of it. There's the legal aspect of doing it all correctly. There's storing it. There's knowing how to clean it. There's knowing how to sight it in, and, all that stuff. Like, they can talk me through it, but until I'm doing it myself, I don't know what I'm doing. There's just a lot of factors that go into it, and it's something that I'm thinking about a lot. Like, it's really insane to me, and I would argue mildly unhealthy how much I'm thinking about firearms lately. But I don't know. I'm like, what do I do next? Do I, like, okay, if I really like this, do I shoot competitively? Is that something that I'm interested in? They do have, I don't think coaches necessarily, but they do have firearm instructors there that also shoot competitively. So maybe that's something to look into. I don't really think I want to go down the competition route. That just, like, personally doesn't sound that thrilling to me. I think I genuinely just like shooting a gun. But basically, my instructor, shout out to Jason, he's awesome. He told me, get a firearm, get comfortable using it. I could go to that range to, just get used to that firearm, and they can help me with all that stuff. So I think that's the next step for me, which is sad, because it's not like it's not an instant, like, oh, I sign up for another class, and then next Monday I'm in a class, like, this is going to take time to do all of this properly. And it's sad. It's really sad, because I want it all, and I want it now. I want to have fun all the time. That's what I kept telling him. I'm like, it's just fun. I don't know what else to say. Like, I wish I had something more substantial and profound to say than shooting gun is fun, but that's how I feel. And I think because of the situation I'm in now, where, sorry, I'm completely lost light. The situation I am in now, where, I live in the city, I can get a membership to a range, but that's really the only experience that I'm going to have. I still don't have, like, hunting partners. I still don't know where the hell I would go to hunt. Like, that is all so far out of my realm right now, that I'm like, let's dial it in. Let's just focus on getting a gun, getting it here, getting it stored and secured properly, getting a membership at the range, and go from there. I want my cake and I want to eat it too and now, but that's just not the reality. So, yeah, as sad as it is to say, this is a brief pause in this chapter of my life. This is something that for a while was a little secret something that I was doing, and it was something that only I was doing, you know? It was something that I had been talking about doing for a while, and then I finally did it, and I had so much fun, and it kind of became this hobby that is so much bigger than I thought it would become. It's funny because I think back to when I took the night of my first class where I was like, what is this going to snowball into? I didn't think gun ownership after 7 weeks, which is it's still crazy, and it's not going to be after 7 weeks. But yeah, that's where I'm headed. That's what I'm doing with my life. I'm going to focus on getting a firearm, a hand-me-down at least, become familiar with that one, and then I don't know, just take it one step at a time, I suppose. I mean, that's really all I can do. So that's the plan. I don't know. I suppose I have a chicken coop I need to build. I have, you know, a basement workshop that I just started building to do all these things. I suppose I have other things to keep me busy, but this one's going to be rattling in the back of my mind for a while. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to go, I don't know, do something with my life, I guess. It was really beautiful. I will say leaving was kind of awkward. I was just kind of like, okay, bye now. Hopefully see you in the future. It was weird. It was weird. So that made me a little less sad because I was like, that's not how people do those things. But then when I came outside, it wasn't pouring rain anymore. It was beautiful, and there was a big old rainbow. So it feels a little bit like a sign, because the last time my class ended, my first class that I took, when that one ended, I came outside and there were 2 deer that were just like right by the parking lot. And I was like, well, that's a sign. And then I leave this last coaching class and there's a big old rainbow in the sky. And I don't know, it just feels like a sign. And it's nice to get those things. It's nice to... Look at how dark it is. Oh, it started raining on her. That's why she got upset. But yeah, it felt like a nice little ending to the day. I'm fully out of light now, so I'll probably end it here. And on to other things, I suppose. There's a deer in my yard. What? What the Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. What? What? What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Holy shit. What? What? Okay. Hold on. Oh my god, what the hell is going on? Okay. What? How are you here? Hey guys, let me adjust. Today has been a day. I'm gonna try to quickly and concisely explain today's events. I have a few videos from when it was happening in the moment, but the adrenaline that has been coursing through my body all day, I'm sure to crash soon. So I don't even know where to begin. So this morning I woke up, it began like every other morning lately. I have 2 elderly dogs, 2 senior dogs. Let's not call them elderly, even though it means the same thing. One of them, Penny, has been having an upset stomach all week. So she's been having a lot of accidents in the house. That's been increasing as she gets older. She's a treeing walker coonhound. She's in the end stage of her typical lifespan for the breed. So it's just where she is right now. So all that to say, this morning I woke up. She actually didn't really make as much of a mess as she normally does. So I still had an accident to clean up. So I sent the dogs outside. And they were probably outside for 10 minutes while I was cleaning up. Didn't think anything of it. The dogs weren't freaking out. They weren't acting any different than normal. I went to look out the back window to check on the dogs, to make sure they weren't like standing at the back door waiting to come outside or waiting to come inside. And I noticed I have 2 flower pots that I had cemented posts in to make like a DIY like string light situation. The string lights have since broke, and now I just have 2 random cemented posts and pots. And so they've kind of been floating around my yard for a few years. But I ended up putting them down by my garden gate to kind of make, the intention was to grow black-eyed Susans up them and then have like a little trellis right there at the entrance of what I'm calling my herb garden. So I have these 2 posts. One of them needs more cement in it and it doesn't stay upright. It blows over frequently in the wind. The other one is pretty heavy and it hasn't fallen over yet. But this morning I looked out the window and noticed that the heavy one was down, not the one that's easily windblown. It's the heavy one that was down. And I was standing there and looking for a second because it looked like there was a log in a place that I do not have a log in that part of the garden. Like it seemed like something had just like moved this big log. And so I thought it was weird. But you know, I had business to take care of in here. So I was still cleaning. And then eventually I came to let the dogs inside and I hear this like guttural moan is the only way I can describe it. And I look towards the garden where the noise is coming from and that post is rattling and there is a doe trapped underneath it. Now, not to dox myself, but I live in the middle of a city. I do live near a bike route, so, you know, I was talking to my neighbors and everybody's like, maybe it came down the bike trail, which maybe, but the bike trail's on the opposite side of my house. It came through, I have a gate that's actually right outside this window. I have a gate on the north side of my house, and there was tufts of hair on the top of the gate. Okay, so it came this way. Here. There's definite hoof marks right there. What the? 6-foot fence, 6-foot privacy fence all the way around, 6-foot privacy fence on my neighbor's yard on either side of me. Like, how it chose my yard, I don't know. And I don't know what it was doing here, but there's very clear tracks and hair everywhere where it came in. It didn't break its leg on the way in. It seemed totally intact that way. I don't know what it was doing here. I didn't hear the dogs freak out or anything. It's totally possible that maybe when I let the dogs out, the dogs scared it and then it ran towards the garden and it hit that post in the pot, and just in a total freak accident, it fell on the deer on its neck and broke its neck. And when I found it, it was still alive. I think it was kind of like it was in the process of dying. I was just in shock. I mean, I really didn't know what... This is just so, like... Just so what the hell? So many questions. I'm still in shock about it a little bit. I still... Like, I just can't comprehend that this was my day. This is not at all how I expected to spend my Wednesday. But anyways... So yeah, I found her when the post was still on her neck and she was kind of thrashing around. I was worried that, you know, she was going to kick me or something if I got too close. I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't processing what was actually going on. And so I was just kind of in shock and like, yeah. It was also 7:30 in the morning. Like I had just woken up. It was just crazy. It was crazy. So I lifted the post off of her and she kind of moved a little bit for like maybe a minute at most. And then she just kind of came to a stop. And for a while I thought she was just like, she was paralyzed and she was still breathing, but I couldn't make a good judgment call with my, you know, adrenaline coursing through me. So Unfortunately, animal control didn't open for like another 20 minutes after that. And so I was basically just outside cussing the entire time, just absolutely in shock. I don't know how many times I can say that. I mean, yeah, it just boggles the mind. There's so many questions as to like, why did she pick my yard out of all yards? What was she doing? Like, where did she come from? None of us caught her on our cameras. So, it's just crazy. It's the, you don't expect a wild animal like that to be in your backyard in the city when you have a 6-foot tall privacy fence. Like, yeah, so, I called pretty much everybody in those 15 minutes I was waiting for animal control to open. I called everybody and I was like, what the hell? What the hell? And pretty much everybody's response was like, that sounds like you. That sounds like something that would happen to you. There are, for this freak situation to happen to me when I'm in this moment that I'm in my life where I just finished 2 days ago, I just finished my last rifle class for a while, like went in with the intention of hunting. I just yesterday was watching YouTube videos of people whitetail hunting, blacktail hunting. I watched another video about this guy that does subsistence. So he does all the things and all the seasons, and it kind of followed him through the seasons. And I was just thinking that's what I want to do. And like, especially because I'm done with firearms for a little bit, just because like the next step in my journey is for me to get my own and then start to learn that one. So I'm kind of on this hopefully brief pause with firearms. And I was kind of thinking, like, what do I do in the interim? And I was thinking of getting into knives because, you know, I don't know if I talked about this already in an earlier clip that I filmed after my class, but I was thinking knives because, you know, with hunting comes dressing an animal and you want to have good knives with that. And I like knives. And so yeah, that's what I was going to get into. And I was just thinking, you know, I was just thinking, I wish I had a way to practice. I wish I had a way to practice dressing an animal. I was so truly just thinking that last night. And I have to be very careful what I wish for. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. I have a very hard time believing it was anything other than a gift because it's quite literally exactly what I asked for. I guess I didn't expect to get it in my backyard and to get it to take care of itself, essentially, is what I will say about the manner in which it died. It didn't take anything from me. It didn't take anything from animal control. When they came, I asked on the phone if I would be able to get a tag for it to harvest it, because when I was on the phone with my mom, when I was waiting for animal control to open up, she was like, take it to a butcher, honestly, like, you know. And I was just like, no, that's not I mean, butcher, yes, but like taking it somewhere, no. To pay for it in this economy, especially when like I asked for this, you know? And if there were ever going to be an animal that I could practice on, that's it, you know? It was hand delivered to me and you know, died in I hesitate to say non-violent because it's not a great way to go. It was a very dear way to go in that it was just a freak, stupid accident. And I feel like deer are just naturally prone to like dumb things like that. No offense to the deer. I'm very grateful for her. I affectionately named her Jane. Not very original, but anyways, animal control came out. I asked them to confirm that she was dead because I was just at such a heightened state. I needed somebody to confirm that for me. And I asked on the phone if I'm able to get a tag for it so I can harvest it. And what they ended up doing is giving me a roadkill tag. He did have to confirm that he could write a roadkill tag for an animal that didn't die on the road. And yeah, I processed a deer by myself today. I got some ice. I got my knives. I got my food saver that I don't think my food saver bags are even big enough to hold any kind of deer cut. It's a 6x10 bag, so not how I thought I was gonna spend my Wednesday. And I also so badly wish I could tell my firearm instructor. I really wish I could call him and be like, you'll never believe it. I'm also trying not to think about it. I'm trying to be like very practical about it, of like, you know, I just need to get this stuff done. I'm trying not to get too in my head about it, because if I think about it too much, I'm like, this is a sign of epic proportions that I could never in my wildest dreams, never would I have imagined this is how my Wednesday was gonna go. Never. I mean, I just really truly don't know what to think. And I'm so unprepared for this. I'm so unprepared. I don't know what to do with the carcass when I'm done. I don't know what to do with, you know, the stuff that I'm not keeping. I don't even know really how to do this. I've seen a bunch of videos of people processing all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to say that I have like zero knowledge, but I have zero hands-on knowledge, which is, you know, kind of what matters the most. But I'm just gonna take this as a learning experience. It was a free deer. I mean, it was literally handed to me on a silver platter, more or less. And I just think, what a wasted opportunity if I just let the state like take it away, you know, if I didn't do anything with it. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna figure out how to dispose of everything properly. I'm going to my parents' house right now just so I have a little more room to work with, and just like, I just didn't want to butcher it in my backyard. I don't know. So I'm out here, and I'm gonna process deer. It's just so truly not how I thought my day was gonna go. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I'm unfortunately out of phone memory. Of course I am. I did not bring my other camera. I'm not really that worried about it. So I'm gonna do what I can. And I'm gonna bring you along for what I can. But I'm gonna process a deer. I was not able to hang her by myself. You might be saying, yeah. I got her into my car by myself. I put her in my Subaru Forester. I absolutely did. I got her up into, I have a garden cart that I actually got for free on the side of the road, and that thing came in handy. So I tarped her, got her into the garden cart, and then by divine intervention, got her in my car by myself. And then when I was out there, I put her in the wheelbarrow, took her down to the woods, tried to hang her, could not get her up by myself. And then basically had to field dress her. The butchering was, I butchered her. I did. I still got a lot of meat. I got 4 gallon-sized bags of meat. I'm really kicking myself, like really kicking myself. I did not take the heart. Really bummed about that. I just, in the moment, I just lost it. I didn't lose it, but it wasn't on my mind. I was trying to go as fast as I could, but she was covered in ticks. I came home with 4 ticks on me. So that was the grossest part, actually. getting the guts out, making the cuts. I mean, with her not being hung, I had her on a tarp and I tried to keep that as clean as possible, but luckily I have very good kitchen knives. I invested in some like professional ones. And so I had very sharp knives. They worked really, really well. I did have to sharpen them a few times, but that wasn't really a problem. I did accidentally nick an artery in, let's see, that would have been the rear right quarter. Nicked an artery and got a lot of blood on the inside cavity after I'd gutted her, which is not cool. But again, like, I'm really trying to give myself some grace because it was my first time. I was trying to watch a video of like what to do because, you know, I've seen this a bunch of times, but when you're trying to do it in the moment, you can't recall everything that you're supposed to do. And so I tried to watch a video, and at some point it just got like I can't keep pausing and then like do the thing. And then I just had to go with my gut. So I tried to remove the hide first and then kind of go from there after I got the guts out. But that was, you know, after I nicked the artery too. So it was crazy. Didn't keep the heart. I didn't keep the hide. I would have loved to have kept the hide, but this is just like such inopportune time. I'm leaving for Minnesota in 2 days. So I'm trying to like, you know, tidy up things here because I'm going to have somebody coming to watch my animals while I'm gone. So, you know, I've got a lot going on, and I just did not have processing a deer in my wildest dreams. So, yeah, it was just, I did what I could with what was given to me. Ended up disposing of the carcass at the dump. That was interesting because they told me that they normally don't let cars my size. I called them and asked if I could dispose of a deer carcass at the landfill, and he was like, yeah, what kind of car is it going to be coming in? And I said, a Subaru Forester. And he said, that's interesting. I said, it's been an interesting day, sir. So, yeah, I'm going to ride that Subaru hell and back, okay? It just makes me laugh because everybody's like, you're gonna need a truck, and I'm like, I like how you think me. I'm not gonna put it in my car. Probably shouldn't have just because of the ticks, but it is what it is. So yeah, I processed her, and I got the 4 quarters off of it and the back straps. I know I didn't get everything that I could have. It was just a lot. And then right at the end, I got this horrible back spasm. Like, I just think the adrenaline has just worn out my body today. So, I haven't eaten anything all day. Like, this is just, yeah, it's been all hands on deck over this doe that showed up, and I'm so grateful for her. I'm so grateful for the experience. I feel like this is like a turning point in my life, honestly, not to be so dramatic, but I feel like I've manifested her, and I also feel like it's a little bit of a sign. And I've never received a sign so clear in my life. So yeah, it's just, it's been a very emotional experience, or spiritual experience, maybe I'll say, if I may be so bold. It was just I'm just very grateful to Jane for showing up, because today was an experience, and it's exactly what I asked for. I didn't think I would get it. Honestly, more than anything, I wish I had a firearms class next Monday, because I've been saying all day, I would love to tell my instructor about this. I would love to tell him. Yeah. Anyways, I need to finish cleaning up my kitchen. And I've been talking for a long time. I need to go finish cleaning up my kitchen, and then I think I'm gonna crash, honestly. I'm feeling the need. And I'm gonna have a long day tomorrow doing all the stuff I was supposed to be doing today when I was processing a deer. Yeah, I got 4-gallon freezer bags plus 2 of like trimmings and the liver and the kidneys. I took both of those. I got 6-gallon bags total full of deer meat, which for it being my first time and me just like really winging it, really, really happy with that. So I guess the message is ask and you shall receive. Like really, really want it and you shall receive, even in the middle of a city with a 6-foot privacy fence. No words. All right, here she is. Yeah, I mean, you can see she's been thrashing around here. Just crazy, crazy, crazy.